Right now, it is so hard to get an accommodation in the United Kingdom. It is very difficult. Apart from that, the process involved in order for you to be able to get an accommodation in the United Kingdom is long and tedious. It does not help in the process of getting an accommodation. It is just stressful, and you need to be prepared and know the full process before you start looking for a house. Hello, this is Motherhood in the Diaspora. Welcome to my channel where I speak about my journey coming to the United Kingdom while being pregnant, everything parenthood, motherhood, lifestyle, as well as nursing. So kindly like, share, and subscribe. It's also available to watch and listen on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, and all podcast platforms. I am the Paulette on all social media platforms, and you can find me at Motherhood in the Diaspora on YouTube. So today I'm going to speak about my experience renting in the UK. I'll highlight the process of getting a house in the United Kingdom so that you can prepare yourself mentally, physically, and financially when you want to get a house in the United Kingdom. Okay, so first thing that you need to know about getting a house in the United Kingdom is everything is done online. And before you even start searching for a house, you need to know a few things. One of them is, which type of house do you want? Are you looking for a shared accommodation, or are you looking for a house or an apartment? You need to know whether you want it for a short-term let or a long-term let or agreement. Short-term let is usually around 6 months, and you can find some for 4 months. When you're checking online, there's usually a place for description. The landlords or the agencies usually say this house is for short-term length 6 months or short-term length 6 or 4 months. Yeah. So for me, because I was looking for a house when I was about 4 months pregnant, I knew I only had 5 to 6 months. So most of these big houses or family centered houses, most of them, they want tenants who are living in there for a long period of time. So that meant the only place that I could get a house easily and cheaply was a shared accommodation. If you choose a long-term agreement and you decide to cut it short, that landlord might tell you to pay rent for the months that you won't be in that house, regardless of when or whether you're going to stay in that house. So if you've taken for 1 year and you move out in month 7, you might be told or asked to pay rent for the next 5 months before you move out, because there is a process in order for the landlord to put the house out, to make repairs, to get another tenant in. It's not like once you move out, someone is going to move in immediately. So because of that inconvenience, you might be required to pay for the whole year's rent before you're allowed to move out of that house. Number 3, you need to sit down and calculate your budget. They say it shouldn't be a third of your salary, but who am I to tell you how to use your salary? That's totally up to you. So once you sit down, consider adding on to other things, and this is totally a personal dilemma. Just sit down and be truthful to yourself. Most of the shared accommodations usually include all amenities, inclusive gas, electricity, council tax. So if you're looking for a house and it says inclusive of all bills, most likely after paying the amount that has been stated, you won't be required to pay for any other thing. The rest of the money you have is up to you to use. But if it's written exclusive or bills not included, just make sure that you estimate at least for gas, electricity, council tax bill, parking fee if you're going to have a car, your phone bill, and everything else. Most of the time, if you're getting a big house, and maybe you have a family and the rent is around £600, maybe for a 2-bedroom house or for a 1-bedroom apartment, and the bills are not included, just overestimate and say, if my rent is £600, then my bills might be another £600, which is almost true, because your council tax may be around £150, sometimes £250, depending on whether you're staying. Your electricity might go to 100, 150 during the winter. Your water might go between 40 to 70. Your gas might be between 70 to 100. So as you can see, it's between 300 all the way to 700, depending on where you are staying. Another thing is you need to figure out the location of the place that you're going to stay. Most people prefer staying outside London, or the outskirts of London, or the outskirts of big cities. That's where you're going to find cheaper houses. For example, for me, I was staying in Liverpool, and it's towards the northern side of the United Kingdom. In my opinion, it's one of the cheapest places that I have seen, because for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom good house, semi-detached or detached house might be between £550 to £700. It's very difficult to get that kind of price in big cities like London, where a 1-bedroom apartment might be up to £1,500. That's more than double. Okay, so you need to figure out the place that you want to stay and start searching early on the cheapest place that you can stay. Okay, so once you've figured all those things out, where are you going to get a house? So you are going to go online. As I had mentioned, looking for a house in the United Kingdom is online, and that is one of the culture shocks that I experienced. It's not like at home in Kenya, where you just walk around and set up a few days that you walk around and look for placards in front of gates where it's been written 2-bedroom apartment to let, 1 house to let, and you just go in, ask the caretaker of the place or the person looking after the compound where you can pay, and you just move in the same day. No, everything is done online, and you must give yourself at least 6 to 8 weeks before you can even move to that house. So which applications can you use? Most of the time, most people use either Rightmove or On the Market or Zoopla or Gumtree, sometimes Facebook Market, but I wouldn't recommend. I've had several people be scammed. I will tell you something. The rule of the thumb when looking for a house online is, if anyone is asking you for any amount of money before you even sign an agreement or reviewed the house physically, if the first statement they tell you is pay this amount so that we can start talking, most likely it is a scam. Does not matter which part of the world you are in. A legit agreement or a legit application, you'll be able to see houses, you'll be able to book a viewing, go check, you'll be able to know which agency they are working for. You can even locate their offices. You can even go online and search the house. You can find it. Those are how you can know whether it's legit or not. Okay, so now that you've gotten your house, onto the same website that you're checking for the house, under the description, and just book a viewing. However, before you do that, there's some things that you need to consider. First, you need to look at the amenities around the house. You do not want to live in a cheap house that is 100 kilometers away from civilization. So just around the same page that you're going to find the houses, there's usually a page that has maps and locations of things around the house that you may need. For example, a GP, for me, it was very convenient, because the GP service that I've been using since my child was born is a 3-minute walk from me. The bus station is 3 minutes as well. The train station is about 7 minutes away. The supermarkets and the shops are about 10 minutes walk. So that really helped me, because I was alone during the postpartum period, and I could just carry my son, go take my supplies and come back. So now that you've applied and you've been selected for a viewing, you can either do a physical viewing or an online viewing. For the physical viewing, when you book a date, you need to arrive early, and you'll be shown around. Make sure you ask relevant questions for the slot that you've been given. After you've viewed it physically, or if you're not able to go physically, you can view it online. So there's a way that nowadays most of the landlords are using a sort of technology called 360 tour. If you click on that, you're able to take a 360-degree tour of the house. Each and every corner, you're able to see it online, which is quite good. If you're happy with the location online and you've seen it and you've viewed it, you can just continue with the process from there, especially if you know the location of the house and you've been able to see it, and you do not need to go physical. So now that you've viewed and you've agreed with the agent that you are interested, you now give your applications. The agent might tell you that you need to give your documentations physically, or you're going to get them online. Most of the time, usually online. So there are certain documents that are needed from you. So the first type of document is your right to rent. Passport, is it valid? Your visa, is it valid? Which type of visa do you have? Those on visitors visa, most of the time, are not able to get a house for the time that they're in the United Kingdom. They need to get your BRP. So for those coming in with their student visa, very important, or even those on tier 2 visa, you need to get your BRP in before you even start to apply for your rent. So make sure that while you're budgeting before coming to the United Kingdom, put some money aside for emergencies, because I can see that some students are coming in thinking that they're going to get a house the first 4 weeks, but they end up staying in Airbnbs and hotels because they are not able to get their BRPs, or their BRPs have some issues and they keep on going back and forth to the home office and they have to stay in hotels, because landlords cannot start your agents cannot start your process without a BRP that shows that you're here to stay for a certain period of time, something called leave to enter. Okay. So now that you've given your proof to rent, the next thing is you're going to give proof of funds, proof that you can rent, proof that you can afford that property to start with. So for those who have stayed in the United Kingdom, you might be able to give your bank statement that's up to 3 months that can actually prove that you've been paying some bills in the United Kingdom and you've not been defaulting. For you who has not stayed here for a long time, the landlord might request you to give an offer letter that states, that has been stamped or signed by your employer, that states the amount of money that you're going to receive while you are being employed. They might ask also for references. So they need to know, where have you lived in the United Kingdom? Which other parts of the United Kingdom have you lived in? So the reference might be provided by your employer, who might say, I know this person, they've been under me for 1 year or 1 month, whichever. They might require you to give a landlord reference, which is maybe the student accommodation that you've been living in or the house you've been living in before as well. Or you can give a friend's reference, but this friend has to be in the United Kingdom for at least 1 year to 3 years in the United Kingdom in order for them to be eligible to write a reference for you. Okay, so those are the few documents that may require. There's some additional plus or minus, so that depends on the agency or the landlord. So you need to get all those documents ready and send them via email. So from the moment you give your documents up to the time that you get a yes or a no from the agency, it's totally dependent on the company. So do not expect to get a reply the same day. Some do, most of them don't. So give that an extra 1 to 3 weeks maybe. But before you move in, ask for the tenancy agreement. Read the tenancy agreement word for word. Understand each and every word. Understand the kind of repairs that are needed. Understand if anything is damaged, how much you're supposed to pay, which kind of damages the landlord is responsible for, what do they determine as wear and tear, which type of insurance has been picked out, which type of property that is available in the house, and whether they've been insured or not, and stuff like that. Apart from that, before you start even thinking about moving in, if you're able to, just go in and get a physical viewing, get your camera out and take a video or a photo of every corner of that house. Make sure that you have evidence that when you are getting in, especially on the areas that are a little bit ish and might need repairs, take good photos of them and keep them. Because at the end of the tenancy, before the tenancy, the landlord has already taken photos of everything, and they've taken an inventory as well, and they will ask you to check and see if there's anything wrong with the apartment. Do not assume it. Go around and check every corner and every crevice. Document it and also send them an email and photos of the things that are needed to be repaired and have evidence, because at the end of the tenancy, they are going to do another inventory, and if there's any form of damage, they might ask you to pay for it, or they might not return the deposit. So if you have your physical evidence, at least you can petition and you'll be able to get your deposit back. So my partner also stayed in a shared accommodation for the whole time, but during the time he was in there, he looked for a house, and unfortunately we were not able to get a house for a very long time, because most landlords are not comfortable giving immigrants houses, because number one, most of you do not have proof of funds. Yeah, most of you do not have proof of funds. Also, you do not have proof of history renting in the United Kingdom, which they're a little bit justified, because how the systems are set here is they need to see a form of evidence here in order for them to even let you stay in their property. Another reason most immigrants don't get houses is because landlords are not comfortable giving houses to people with families or people expecting children, because of the possibility of damage to property. So I hope I've highlighted everything you needed to know about renting in the United Kingdom. I'm going to share more about my journey and everything that entails staying in the United Kingdom, lifestyle, nursing, motherhood, and parenthood as well. So thank you for watching this far. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I am the Paulette on all social media platforms, or at Motherhood in the Diaspora UK. So thanks for watching, and let's meet in the next episode.